Toma, vai, tudo tá, pega, toma, vem, perereca.
Hello guys, I hope we are doing well. Welcome back to my channel. I'm so humbled that you're here. So last week we did analysis BBMA using our strategy, and we predicted what we should expect for the coming week, and these are the mappings that we made, and this is how the week actually turned out to be. Okay, so for those who were able to follow up, for those who watched that video and followed up, congratulations. For those who were able to scoop some profits from the markets. So for today, I'm going to keep it short. I'm going just to do a review of how last week happened, and then we can move on to see what we should expect for the coming week. Yes. Now, for those who don't know how to set up the indicator, our BBMA indicator, BBMA, as I earlier said in my previous videos, for those who have watched them, I said BBMA stands for Bollinger Bands and moving averages. So those are the only two indicators that we use, right? Only that we set them to different settings. Okay, I will take you through. First of all, you come to indicators, and then you add Bollinger Bands. You leave them to the default settings, you save. Then the next is the moving average. You add moving average. For example, we shall start with moving average 50. Now EMA 50, that is the period. It is going to be exponential. Set the method to exponential and apply to close. Okay, then it's up to you. It's your choice to either choose dotted or not dotted. It's up to you, and also the thickness and the color. But for the color, allow me to use pink, as that's what I prefer using. Then after that, you save. Then we are going also to add more for moving averages, but this time around we are going to apply them. The method is going to be linear weight. Okay, the period, the first one will be 10. Okay, now this time around we are going to apply to high. Okay, that means now we are going to apply to the high of the candle. So the calculations will be considered using the high. The high, you know, the candle is made up of high, low, and also the body close and open. Okay, so for this case we choose high, and I will use this color, that is brown, for that, and then I save. Okay, I also need to add another moving average still for high, so I will set the period to 5. Okay, and I set the method also linear weight, and then I apply it to high, and then I change the color also to the same brown as the other. Then the next one will be the moving average still, to be a period of 10, and then linear weight, we apply it also. Now this time around we are going to apply it to low. Okay, we are looking for MF510 low. So for the colors, I'll use this one, that is light green. Okay, then I add another one, the last one. Now this time around I'm going to set the period to 5. Okay, and then method is still linear weight, we apply to low, and the color should also be the same as we have chosen before. Okay, so when you turn back to your chart, this is how the indicator will look like. So for this case, I'm going to change the color of my Bollinger Bands. I want it to be in blue. Okay, this will do for me. All right, now it looks beautiful. So this is what we used to analyze the markets for the previous week, and this is how it turned up. So it is very clear that BBMA is always 2 steps ahead of the market. You can even go up to 3 steps depending on your experience with it, right? So as we had discussed earlier, I won't go back through the analysis we did, but you can see that price what it did was, initially, as we said, it made the extreme, successfully made the extreme, and then it came up there to TP Wajib, and then it came for MLV, creating CSK, and then this was our entry as we were earlier guided. So for now, I'm going to clear everything. I'm going to clear everything, but for the re-entries, for safe re-entries, the pros, of course, they know that this should have been your first re-entry. This is your second, because you see this is TP Wajib. If you knew, as I told you, BBMA is always a step ahead, so obviously you would know that there is a chance of price, going for CSK. Then there was also another one here. Okay, so it was also a re-entry. This was REE code. I taught the different codes on my channel. For those who don't know the codes, we have REE, RME, RRE, and REM. Okay, with REM being the most profitable. So let us clear all the objects. Okay, let's clear all the objects, and then we do the analysis of what we should expect this coming week. Well, if we go to the daily time frame, we can clearly see that, as we had earlier anticipated, price respected our re-entry right here, and it moved over 1,000 pips, right? It moved over 1,000 pips going upwards, right? So given the fact that it respected this re-entry, price went ahead to do momentum. Okay, as I had told you in the previous video, that what we should expect for this week was momentum, and price ably made that momentum, and we can actually confirm this by the momentum that we are seeing in the lower time frame, that is our H4. Okay, so this daily momentum has been validated by H4. So for the case of one who wants to trade on a daily time frame, our goal is to wait for price to come to this re-entry. Okay, our goal is to wait for price to come to this re-entry, and after it has arrived, we expect price to make a code right here, which will allow us to enter at the right time for the market to shoot up. But if you remember, for those who have been following me up, the previous videos, I told you that price cannot come to this daily re-entry unless the H4 re-entry has failed. Okay, so that means now this re-entry must first fail for price to come to the daily re-entry. That means that this re-entry here must first fail, and if it fails, then we can think of price coming for the daily re-entry. That means now, if price in this time frame, for example H4, made a CSK sell, okay, we would expect maybe it would be a signal for us telling us that price is now ready to go and look for the re-entry in the daily time frame. But price cannot look for the daily re-entry unless it has already made a CSK sell or a confirmation signal in H4. So for price to come this side, our EMA 510 low in H4 should be a failure first. All right, it should first fail. In other words, what I'm saying is that price, we can see that after it had made a golden setup. In fact, in the coming weeks, I'm planning to teach the different setups that we have in BBMA. So this is a golden setup, right? This was a golden setup, and after this setup, price shoot up and made momentum, right? And now after momentum, what we expect next is for it to respect the what? For it to respect the re-entry. So if price comes to this H4 zone, okay, and it makes a setup. All right, then it's when we can confirm and do our re-entry. Otherwise, that would be a H4 EMA 510 low re-entry. But if price fails this area, okay, there is also a possibility of price rejecting the mid BB, or using the mid BB as a re-entry zone instead of MA 510 low, okay, and that is what happens only in the code RRE, as I had explained earlier in my videos. Well, also, as you know, guys, or in case you didn't know, BBMA is a multi-time frame. It's a multi-time frame strategy, okay. And also, maybe the other thing you should know is that, for example, why am I saying it is a multi-time frame? For example, this H4 time frame, you could note this down. It tells us the weekly trend. Just jump one time frame high and then it tells you the trend, okay. What is happening in H4 tells you that. Then the daily time frame tells us of the trend we should expect in monthly. Just keep one time frame up, you get to tell the trend in that zone or in that time frame. So that is it basically that we should expect in the coming week. We should expect re-entries at either H4. If price comes to H4, guys, only enter after a confirmation, okay. I've always said that, only enter after confirmation, because sometimes price can come and it doesn't give a confirmation. In such a case, you are not supposed to enter. That is a rule for BBMA. You're not supposed to enter if you don't have a confirmation. As a matter of fact, if you're a beginner in this, I would always encourage you to first look for a complete code. A complete code, normally we are saying it consists of 3 time frames. You should first ensure that among the 4 codes, you have at least confirmed one, that it has fully formed. Then you can think of entering in that direction. Otherwise, as of now, price is in a bullish momentum, okay, a bullish momentum. In fact, we had wars between Israel and Iran. That explains actually this first movement that we had here. It was because of those fundamentals. Israel and Iran are in a war, right? So that's why we are having something like that. So I was saying that if price comes to the H4 entry, ensure that you confirm the code before entry, because if it doesn't give you a confirmation, then that means that there's a chance of price coming down to either the mid BB re-entry, okay, or even to come for the rejection at the EMA 50, okay. So that is it, guys. For those who have not liked and subscribed to my channel, kindly do so. I love you all and I wish you all the best in the coming week. Bye bye.